So this is Michael just explaining the first 30 seconds of this video. The attendees, everybody here today was listening to some nice music from the Gladiator movie, which unfortunately I can't show you now, but they were there looking at the same time at some images generated by the Midjourney community. And you can see here one of Trump taking a selfie during the World War II Normandy landings, I take it. And there's another one loading up now, which is an Indian alien bride. Again, all of the descriptions will be in the video.
Thanks for doing this with us. This is awesome.
And Michael, what's Discord? Because then we can test it by ourselves as well.
Yeah, Midjourney.
Midjourney?
Wow. Midjourney. And so are these going to then become one image, or these are like options?
No.
Like, which one do you like?
No, it's usually generates in 4 images, and you can actually evolve any of these images by clicking on,
and then,
there are some buttons down all those images.
So then can you do things like analyzing the data bias, for instance? I mean, like in this case, we write human, but it's 3 young girls of non-recognizable ethnicity, right? I mean, how biased or unbiased is that? And how does one measure it? Putting a bunch of data together rather than putting a bunch of data that are previously clustered, like, I don't know, academic papers or science knowledge, right? Does that make sense, what I'm asking? Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's more of a general adversarial networks. And yeah, so it's kind of a blend between processing, but it doesn't produce like natural language generation. It produces images, so it's more of general adversarial networks, which is a very high level. And so we need a corpus of research papers because it's mostly about. But I think this is a good thing also because probably. I don't know. I feel like it's probably may have a different result.
Well, I yes, yeah. Yes, and it's fascinating and it's amazing, and it creates the issue of, do we ever need a philosophy paper ever again? Basically, right? Yeah, something like that. Biased or unbiased is that, and how does one measure it?
Yeah, that's really.
And where is the challenge and the obstacles, right? Or wherever the consciousness, how is consciousness expressed there? This is all interesting. So, Michael, I have, I guess, a more specific question, which is, how do you apply this to language, to teaching language?
Yeah, so good question. So obviously the first thing, and ideally if everyone had a VR headset or something, we would have done what Robert started to do and what I was doing, which is I wanted to have this tornado of words around us from everything we were consuming, okay? And then to refine those, so to verbalize other people's thoughts and AI generations, and then feed it into the system. So we're thinking about the concepts and verbalizing those concepts. And I've started to demonstrate how that could work. It goes in the system, and then to go deeper, the idea then would be to experiment with modifying some of the vocabulary that we used, for example, challenge, maybe removing challenge and seeing what different comes out, or removing human, because clearly the AI has emphasized the human element in this, maybe a bit too much of one human being. Maybe we wanted a more general kind of look at humanity, possibly.